what's up everyone? Hardcore here. In the past we talked about the drama that often happens in the game. For this one, we are going to share our experiences with you about a person who we thought was our friend. And joining me here, Kaiser Wolf with Sigma 6. Say hi guys.
Hello.
Hola.
So this individual is pretty much the whole inspiration for the very start when we were talking about the slap. It was with this individual to give some context and to bring more of this whole thing together.
Yeah, that poor guy's like a repeat offender.
Well, to start, I was in an old FC. I'm gonna refer to the video that I was talking about with this person. And the drama that happened with him included in that video that I'm gonna post right now. We can see it. So that person was with me in an old FC that I talked about in the old video. And that person, like, I got his attention somehow. And once I left, about like a year ago, I think. Yeah, it's about like a year ago. I left the FC and he kind of left right behind me. And he made it look like, oh, I left because he left, which that's not true. I left because I have my own reasons. So, right after he left, he joined the FC that I'm currently in with Kaiser. And he decided to, he started making problems, or creating them actually, with the Discord members that we were, like, in the same Discord. And he started, like, saying, oh, you should kick this person, you should kick this other person that I don't like. Well, and I was like, well, they didn't really do anything. If you don't like them, you don't have to talk to them. I mean, they didn't really do anything. I'm gonna talk to them, but I'm pretty sure they didn't do anything. So he created this whole drama, and at some point, he started talking about Twitch. Which, mind you, he never liked the platform. He always talked shit about it, pretty much. He never liked it. He talked about the people using Twitch and the fact that people are, like, weird for using that platform. And he was like, well, one day he was like, I saw my friends streaming on Twitch and having fun. So why not I try it? I was like, well, you never liked Twitch, so what made you change at this moment? And he was like, well, I can try it. I have nothing to do most of the time, so why not? And it kind of wasn't the good decision that he made, because it kind of changed him as a person. And Kaiser kind of agrees with me on that one. Remember that, Kaiser?
Yeah. Well, sadly, after the whole slap incident, the friendship started to fall apart a bit more and more every day. But when he decided that he was going to go over to streaming, I was just like, okay, cool. You know, having been streaming on Twitch for a long time, I really didn't get very far, but, you know, it was nice to see somebody else trying. I didn't agree with the fact that, you know, oh, I don't agree with this, or I have these issues, and now I'm just going to put them aside to, you know, have fun. Okay, cool. But then it turned into making money off Twitch. And I think for a lot of people, you're going to be in either camp. And for most people, you would fall into the latter of, you know, if you can make money off of it, why not? But I wanted to watch and see him grow his own community first before I jumped in with a follow for him. You know, he wanted to reach the 50 to hit affiliate, perfectly fine. But I was not going to follow him until he was close enough that it's like, okay, here you go. Congratulations, you are now an affiliate. I waited until he had 49 followers and I followed. Because I was going to be, you know, hey, I acknowledge the fact that you have come this far on your own, whether through friends or just people, friends and family that you had, or just people that came through and followed you. You made it this far. I'm acknowledging your hard work. Good job. And up until this point, he had unfollowed me a lot. Like 5 times by the end of everything. Because after a while, our friendship just pretty much went to nothing. And so he was, he had 200 plus followers. So I'm like, I'm just going to unfollow him. Not even the end of the day, he had already unfollowed me. So he was like,
it's not
watching
like,
everything.
Yeah, it's not like he unfollowed. Well, mostly because we're not trying to be like, well, I don't want to follow you because you got a lot of followers. It's because we don't really watch the games that he's playing. Not to say that we don't support him because he was a friend, but the fact that he was using, and I use that word, like, don't take it like very like personally. Like, it's kind of,
he would jump into any of our streams.
Yeah.
And then if somebody was in our streams, he would then go, "Hey, I followed you," and be hoping, like, trying to convince them to do a follow for follow with him, which is actually not a good thing. It's actually
it is illegal.
against TOS,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware, with Twitch.
Yeah. And the fact that he was unfollowing Kaiser, it wasn't really back to back. Like, it's not every day he unfollows. He waits for like a week or maybe like a few days after, and he unfollows him, and then he goes back to follow me, and then if he sees my numbers go up a bit, he unfollows. I'm like, why? What is the point of doing all this? I don't understand it.
And to bring a little concept to like his character, this isn't like the first time that he's done something like this. Something on larger and smaller scales. The FC that we were in, he had an altercation with an individual because of the logo that they were using. So basically, what it was that he drew attention to this person, and this person was a casual player, but people in the FC knew him. He's been around since the beginning of the FC, and he was one of the founding members. So he comes in from time to time and he plays. So the thing was that basically what the emblem is that the guy was like, hey, look, it was an inside joke. Me and my friends, we use it or whatever. And it's just kind of like those that know.
He kind of took it
And
personally.
he took offense to it. Yeah, he took offense to that. And basically like rallied this campaign to get this guy removed because of his logo. Like, look, man, he's not causing any issues. Nobody's taking offense to it besides you. Maybe you should probably just mind your own business and stay in your lane on this one. So because people didn't rally in his defense, what he did was that he left the FC. Like, he quietly quit it, which caused him to join Kaiser's free company. So as that happens, he has this really odd way of quitting when things aren't in his favor. So when the friendship started to fall apart, what he started to do was like, oh, I'm mad at Kaiser. Yeah. I'm going to quit. I'm not going to show my support. He's not supporting me.
It's like, if you don't agree with me, you're against me. So if you don't do what I'm telling you to, that means you're not with me. So whatever, I'm not gonna be with you, or I'm not gonna talk to you. It's like, why? Everybody has their own opinions. But then, like, this the first was it this year? Yeah, it's like January of this year. He had a change of heart apparently, just because of one reason, to get his Twitch followers up. Which is another thing that we were going to talk about, is the fact that he changed his personality just to gain people, or just to gain the favor of people following him on Twitch. Which is kind of manipulative, if you ask me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's something else. It's kind of like, why do you change your personality for something? Or like, is it because you want to gain money on Twitch? Is it because... I don't know how that works. It's like he's using people just to gain whatever he want to gain. And if you don't follow him, then he will unfollow you. It's like, why? Yeah. He's that kind of person.
He did that to Hart. He did that to me. I don't know if he's done that to Sigma yet. He was also like very competitive about it. Of, oh, well, I made this many. And he would go to Sigma and just be like, oh, I made this many, I got this many, I'm closing in on you. Sigma had the most out of all of us on Twitch of followers. And
which wasn't my doing, by the way.
But it doesn't change the fact he had the most.
Yeah.
Some of them could have came back, but a lot of them just ended up leaving.
Yeah, so the situation with this guy was, so when we were doing our Twitch and stuff like that, I was probably saying I wasn't the oldest out of us, like the three of us that's been streaming, and I was probably the most, I would say, consistent. I wouldn't even say that. I was the one that streamed the most because I like doing what I do, and I typically do it for the community that comes in and hangs out. A lot of us, a lot of my friends, like I said before in other videos, we're all streamers. So we all have like these little niche groups that we all kind of hang out with. And with this guy, he was one of those kind of dudes that was like in the beginning of our video, he was one of those kind of people that it's almost kind of like a turncoat, but kind of isn't. So like when we first started, everybody starts off when you become a YouTuber, TikTok, whatever the case is, whatever content that you're starting to create, you start off on a budget. So normally you're like, okay, well, most people, they'll be like, well, I'm gonna start off with my phone, then eventually I'm gonna get cameras, then eventually I'm gonna get ring lights. As money comes in, you start buying that stuff. So I just bought like this gaming desktop. I just bought a VR headset. So I was like, well, now I'm going to start doing the streaming stuff. So I had to worry about getting microphones. So I got this microphone. Now it wasn't the best quality microphone. We joined Discord, and the microphone isn't really well calibrated for Discord. I have it set up for my OBS, but not necessarily through Discord. So I came in, my microphone cut in and out, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was, I love these wannabe streamers when they get these cheap pieces of equipment and their equipment sucks. But here and today, he's using the same microphone and has been for like the last year, because when he decided that he wanted to become a streamer, the first person he came to was me. He was like, hey, Sig, I want to become a streamer. What kind of stuff can I get that's pretty decent, that's on a budget? And I was like, sure. And I gave him my recommendations. I was like, hey, these are the things that I started off with. A lot of the things were on sale because it's like a year after I bought them. I was like, a lot of these things are old, they're on sale. You can try using these. And all the equipment that he's still currently using for his stream setup was the same stuff that he was like making fun of like a year prior. And I just kind of find that it's kind of like the irony of it all. It was like, first you didn't like streamers because you figured that they went out of their way, because he saw it as them people selling their soul to go out there and push content, to fake it until they make it kind of deal. And then all of a sudden he gets the idea was like, well, all my friends out here, they're doing this stuff. They're having this huge community. The people are interacting with them. I mean, and they're having fun. So he kind of felt like he was the odd man out, and he was just probably like, well, maybe I should try it too. So the first person he turns to was the person he made fun of about having the equipment, and then all of a sudden he becomes the streamer, and now he became everything that he talked trash about. He became, I mean, like, he would do the follow for follow. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but again, it goes against certain terms of service. When you start to lose that, then that's when you're kind of gone off the deep end. And I believe the method that he was doing it, I'm not going to go into detail about the methods that he was doing, probably wasn't the most ethical, but it helped him out. Like, he got a bunch of followers, and he's into the thousands now, which is good for him. So the good thing is that he's come up, but the way that he did it, every person that he collaborated with no longer collaborates with him. So when you kind of do the weird, kind of awkward, shady stuff to get to the top, or to get to whatever his plateau is, then other people that kind of know of the personalities is kind of like, they start to see you for who you are, and they're like, that guy is kind of wonky. I don't want to work with that guy. So he's tend to lost a lot of the people that he used for inspiration to get into it. But then a lot of those people would no longer deal with them.
He made it at what cost? What bridges did he burn to get where he is? Kind of scenario.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like, you can kind of tell if you were around him. You can kind of tell he's kind of using people, which he calls friend, quote.
Mm-hmm. Remember when he was like, he thought that I could use, because I'm a sponsored streamer on Twitch, and the way that I got sponsored was by pure accident, pure luck, and by pure coincidence. And it's normally how major sponsors work. so I got sponsored through a VR company, and because one of the things that led me to getting sponsored was my experience in the military. So with that co-oping with VR shooters, which is a military base kind of deal, that was one of the things that led to my sponsorship. And he was kind of like hinting like, we're boys, we have similar backgrounds. Maybe you can kind of get me in. I'm like, look, man, I have nothing to do with how I got sponsored. I have no idea how I got sponsored, but it just happened to be the way that it was. And so it was just kind of like, he wants to shoehorn himself into a lot of the things. Even with like our gaming circle, before we were streamers and even afterwards, we would play games on Discord regularly. And you can tell that, when you have somebody who's kind of like a try hard but wants to be like a team player, but it's really really hard for them to allow the team to kind of contribute towards the game.
Are you
That was kind of
talking
the way
about
that he played. Yeah, when we played Ghost Recon.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that when we all played with him, it was kind of like, well, it's my way or we don't do it at all. And we played a lot of the first person shooters. Like I said, we're both military vets. We both have, we both been to combat zones. As far as what his experience is, he exaggerates on a lot of it. And like I said, those that know. But anyway, that's besides the point. So when we would do something, we would play games just for the fact of playing games. So if it's fun, we'll do it. When you're playing games, awkward, funny things happen. And when it happened with us, it was hilarious.
Yeah, when we had, we would go through Ghost Recon, and when we ran it with him, we were trying to do it the stealthy way, the nobody sees you, and
the one shot, one kill.
Dead. Yeah, and we would actually get really good at, you're running up, oh, I got that, snipe, somebody else snipe, 2 snipes at the same time. But there was one mission we were having issues with, and it was always giving us issues where you had to catch the VIP.
Oh, I remember that.
And we went through that, I don't know how many times.
Like 30 times, bro.
To finally get it. And then we came back, played it with another friend, and we just said, you know what? Screw all of the stealth. We'll do stealth at the beginning, and if shit hits the fans, we're just going to improvise. Grab that van just in case. And so we tried to park a van just in case something went awry. We went through this so many times. And we parked it, and shit hit the fan almost instantly. And we had the most fun just wrecking everything, and we got the VIP in, what was it, like 3 attempts?
Yeah, we actually did
attempts.
it.
Yeah. Rather than trying to, spend hours trying to stealth through all this mission. And when we didn't do it his way is when he would have issues. It was just like Sigma said, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah, he basically rage quit.
Yeah, he rage quit and then came back and then tried to play with us again, and we're off doing something else.
He'd be like, hey, no, you shouldn't have done this. No, you should do this. It's like it's like a teacher telling you what to do. And if you say something else, you have to shut up or we're not doing it. You have to do my way or no.
Yeah, well, because he was trying to use his military experience as, I've been there, I know what to do. It's like, bro, but that doesn't represent here. You're putting your body on the line in real life in combat situations. This is a game. There's respawns and stuff like that. And, and I have more combat experience than he does. So if anybody should be given any kind of, if we're going by that narrative, it should have been me. But he played the game a little bit more than we did. And so he saw that as experience and expertise, and he should have been like the team leader. But we cooperated the best that we could. And, it just turned out it's a completely different dynamic when we're in a group with him versus when we're in a group together, because we played the game together. We had an incident where same thing happened 2 totally different times. We were flying the helicopter. You can activate a UAV. And when we're descending in a helicopter, when you send out the UAV goes up and out. So when you're in a helicopter, it leaves the helicopter and goes up into the rudders and destroys the propellers, and then the helicopter goes down. So the one time that we were playing, now I think this is like maybe the 3rd or 2nd time that we played this game, so we're still getting used to the controls. So he's in this helicopter, and all of a sudden the rotors go out. It's smoke, fire, this helicopter's crashing. He's immediately caught off guard. So when we realize what happened, we are cracking up laughing. We're like kids in the backseat of a car when their parents are driving, and something happens and the kids start snickering, and the parents are like, "What the hell's going on back there?" We were like those kids. So he freaks out, he panics because of course the helicopter is just going down. Instead of improvising, because we bailed out, we know the helicopter's screwed, so we bail out. We're parachuting. So we hit the ground, and he's immediately pissed. It was like, bro, calm down. It was an accident. It's a game. Relax. And he's literally like,
you can come back. It's not like the end of the world. It's the game. We're having fun. Like, at least have fun with us. It's not something to take seriously.
If he was a cartoon character, smoke would have been coming off his head. He was that mad.
Oh,
and
the
so he got
teapot steam.
Yeah, the steam coming out of the ears. And he was so upset. He was just like, you know what? That's it. I'm leaving. So he leaves. So we continue on the mission. Now, we steal a truck. We steal another helicopter. We're flying out. And about 30 minutes later, we do the same thing. And all of a sudden, we're cracking up laughing. And not only did we crash the helicopter, but we paraglided into the point location and took it down without any issues. And we were like, now, if this particular person were here, this whole mission would have been FUBAR because something that he didn't plan for went outside of it. And one of the things about being in the military operation is the ability to adapt. That's the number one part of any plan, adapt. Because there's a saying, no plan survives contact with the enemy. Whatever plan that you have, you better have 1,000 other ones because it's a contingency. We all know that. But, if he's the combat vet like he says that he is, then he would have known that. Normally if you're on the ground and be like, well, that plan's busted, let's come up with something different. Change the mode of attack.
Plan B, plan C. If that doesn't work, you just go to plan F.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then
like
after that, you go to the Greek letters.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, you go through the whole alphabet, you come back, and okay, we're on plan double D.
It's like, we're going back to the fact that for the Twitch thing, it's like he lost his friends that he enjoyed, like, playing with on Discord, like Sigma said, and, like, just having fun. For what? If it was for the money, that's kind of made it worse because Twitch is not all about the money. It's just the fact that people made it look like, oh, when you stream, you're going to have a lot of money and everything. That's not always the case. And the fact that he's...
Not everybody can make it as an admin goal.
Exactly. It's not everybody can do it. And there's a thing that just because you can do it, that doesn't mean you should do it. Like, anybody can stream.
Or that you're guaranteed to have anything out of it. A lot of people
are
humble. They'll start knowing that they're not going to be famous.
Yeah, and at the end of it all, we're not saying that, we don't agree with his methods, but we don't wish him ill. That's one reason why we haven't said names throughout all of this stuff.
Yeah.
No matter, any of it. When we bring somebody up, we are very ambiguous. We don't give names or anything because we don't wish these people ill.
We're just talking about how our experiences with it and what actually went on with it.
Yeah, we do read comments. There are people that kind of get some of these stories misconstrued, and they're thinking that we're personally trying to attack people or embarrass people. We bring a lot of these situations up because we know that other people have friends that are a lot like that, and they can relate to something like that. It's a shame that when we talk about something and it has like a negative consequence, like in this guy's case, he basically got blacklisted from all of his friends. I mean, you're able to make new friends, but they weren't the friends that... when we're isolated people.
With.
Yeah, and when you build that rapport with people, because we've known this guy for like a handful of years, that's a hard friendship to try to replace, especially when you're not an out and about person.
It's like, at the end of it, is it worth it to lose your friends for a platform that you hated for a while?
Yeah, you traded, exactly. He traded everything for a platform that he didn't agree with. And then now he's wholeheartedly into it. Because, we were talking about, like, with the whole situation, especially with me being a sponsor, or being sponsored, when Twitch was doing the whole thing with, like, well, you can only have so much room for a sponsorship on your stream. I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, I'm gonna drop my affiliate. I did all that stuff on my own, and then we were looking at other different places that we could stream to. And when we were like, hey man, we're just letting you know about all these changes in Twitch, and he was like, oh no, Twitch is great.
Like, it's so funny because you changes your output on the platform right now. When you in the past were like, "Oh, Twitch sucks. I don't like Twitch. Twitch is for people who don't have anything to do in real life." It's kind of what?
Yeah, now they sliding you a paycheck. Now your opinion changed. They bought your loyalty. And the thing is that some people do it for the money, some people do it for clout, some people do it for the love of it.
Honestly,
We're not
all of us are doing it for fun. We can all agree with that.
I mean, there's a passion in it, and that's the reason why people do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, if there's something that you don't want to do, especially when it's on your own accord, because you're volunteering your own time to do it. So if it's something that you don't want to do, you're not going to volunteer your time to do it.
You don't have to.
And since we're doing that stuff, everybody gets into it for their own reasons. Now, we're not saying that you shouldn't do, a follow for follow. Hey, whatever floats your boat works, man. Fake it till you make it, or do what you got to do until you get it. I was always raised with the standpoint: if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
We're gonna have to end it at this point, because
If you made it this far, in the comments, say rally ho or lolly ho, whichever one you prefer, but the real one is rally ho.
This is just our opinion, but let us know what you think, or if you have any similar situations in the comment. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Have fun.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Don't forget to sub and like. See ya.